Hey guys, AuspiciousAussie here, and welcome to episode 13 of Valkyrie Pro Wrestling. Now, you might be wondering why we are 13 days away from the Fateful 8 tournament. And there's a pretty good reason for that. As you can see, we've got some decisions to be making down here. And of course, it is now January as well. So what that means is we have our first refusals for our dojo graduates. Now, as you can see, we've got 4, which is pretty decent. But again, we did know that we were getting 4. And of course, we don't have them set to appear, sporadically through the year. We're getting them in January. I think we'll go forward just having them in January for each year. We might change it up in the future. Let me know what you guys think. But I think, obviously, being the first year and we got the dojo set up straight away, it does make sense for us to try and get these, hopefully they're all Australian women, and just to get them straight into the company as soon as possible, because we are lacking, we're not exactly lacking any workers, but we're definitely lacking Australian workers, because there is literally no Australian women that are available to play in Oceania at the start of the game. Of course, Rekka and Calliope, they are both from New Zealand. So let's have a look at these girls. Before we sign them up, as you can see, Ruth Russell, we've got 18-year-old white Australian female wrestler. Doesn't look too good, but do you know what? She's a bully. That's really bad. That's a really bad personality trait to have. Anyway, she doesn't actually look too bad. The basics, selling, and psychology is obviously really low, but 59 technical ability. I would say the entertainment skills are not terrible. The star quality is really bad. We might actually, I think we'll potentially sign her, but if anything happens, I think we might just shoot her out straight away if she sort of causes any issues. Anyway, up next, we've got Claudia Alexander. Claudia Alexander. She looks similar to Rekka, which is interesting. She is a 23-year-old black Australian female wrestler, so another Australian worker. I'm assuming they're all going to be... Oh, she looks real good. Oh, my goodness. 83 star quality. 85 sex appeal as well. 52 brawling, 51 technical. I mean, the 7 psychology is absolutely dreadful. But at the same time, she's very, very good. She's also got a corrosion sleeper. That sounds like a pretty badass finisher, if you ask me. She's only small. But I think we could maybe do something with her and Rekka. Maybe align them as a tag team. Anyway, up next, we've got Betty Jerkowitz. Let's have a look at Betty. Betty also looks pretty good. She's actually got much better sort of fundamental skills here. Low consistency, but 53 basics, 48 selling. Got 47 brawling, which is decent as well. Good to see she's actually a people person. She's also a baby face, and of course we are kind of lacking baby faces at the moment. The only downside, the 27 star quality there. That's kind of unfortunate. 32 psychology is not too bad there either for her. And she's got good stamina. Only 21 for Betty Jerkowitz there. And I think she looks pretty good. I like her. And then our final graduate is Sarah Butler. Let's have a look at Sarah. Okay, Sarah's a little bit interesting. Now, brawling and technical are pretty low for her. I mean, they're not terrible. They're 33 for both of them. But where it gets interesting for her, got 55 star quality, which is acceptable, in my opinion. But she's got the entertainment skills. 66 charisma, 66 microphone, and 62 acting there. So she could be really good on the microphone. She's also only 18, is Sarah Butler. So, she's got a lot of years ahead of her. Unfortunately, only 19 psychology. And then the fundamentals are looking pretty bad there. 32 basics, 29 selling, 22 consistency, and only 39 safety there as well. Good to see that she is professional, so pretty happy with that. She also got a corrosive armbar. Was Claudia's finisher? Corrosive Sleeper. I mean, we could literally put them two together as a tag team and call them Corrosion or something like that. Could be interesting as well. Anyway, let's. I mean, we're gonna sign them all up anyway. So, what I would like to do is try and get them on as low a contract as we possibly can. I'm just wondering if we could maybe... Yeah, it looks like we're not going to be able to get them for 10. Alright, so it's going to have to be 20. Probably 20 for all of them, realistically. But we can get them for 0 merchandise. I want to double check and see if any of them are actually... Alright, so it looks like they might all be better as babyface. That's interesting. Now, they all do need they need quite a bit of work, to be honest, but we'll just have to wait and see what we actually do. So they are literally all faces. Although I think Sarah could be a heel. She's not exactly suited to being a babyface. So I could make Sarah Butler heel. I'm just wondering if that would be better for like one of our, graduates to be a heel. So I think I'm going to make her a heel, yeah, so it's just defaulted like that as well. I know I said we might make a tag team between her and Claudia, but I think for now, especially, we're going to try and want to increase their levels. What do we got here? Apparently we have enemies in the company now. Joyrider and Purple Viper have been having problems recently. Yeah, strong dislike of Purple Viper. And we also have Thea Davis having a broken tailbone as well. Gotta say, that's pretty frustrating. Anyway, what I'll do, I'm going to talk about a few things here, so I may as well just process forward. But yeah, we've got our 4 graduates. Now, I'm not really too sure what I want to do, because obviously I've been talking about the finances for like the last 3 or 4 episodes. We're in a pretty bad situation. We literally have 2 months. We have this month and then 1 more month, and then we'll be in the red by about 5,000 to 7,000. Now, I've talked about possibly changing ticket prices, going back to normal, possibly even going up to premium. And I did have a comment about it in the last, or I think it was the last episode, and it was kind of leaning towards the fact that if I do that, we will severely halt our progression in regards to popularity. And I have to agree with that, and I feel like kind of the only way to actually get ourselves out of the financial situation is to potentially put ourselves even worse into the financial situation that we already are currently. And in doing so, with free tickets, we'll continue to gain the popularity we have sort of seen over the first year in game time. It's a tough decision to make because obviously if we for some reason go bankrupt, the series will be over. And I feel like the series is only just starting to pick up now because we have gotten that first year out of the way. We've finally gotten our dojo graduates, and we've finally got a new world champion as well. Lots of different stuff that has started to happen pretty much in the space of these 2 months, the last 2 episodes, or this episode and the previous one as well. It's interesting. And I like I said, I really just don't want the series to end. So that's why I'm kind of not exactly stressing out about it, because I will pretty much do everything I can to get us out of the actual issues that we find ourselves in, but I'm just not exactly sure which way would be the best possible way of going about it, if that makes sense. Anyway, I think we're a couple of days away from the show here. We are doing the Fateful 8 as well, which is our 8-woman tournament. I do think I want to put maybe one of the graduates into the actual tournament itself. I think that could be pretty cool to do. And yeah, I guess for the rest of the tournament, we'll just have to wait and see what happens. I haven't actually even really thought about the tournament itself. I've kind of been just focusing on the, well, I guess I was about to start planning it out while the game was processing. And then, of course, we got the graduates, which I, for some reason, wasn't exactly expecting. For some reason. I knew it was January, but I just didn't think... Yeah, I don't know what I'm talking about now. But I'm going to have to book this tournament on the fly. I think I have a winner in mind, but I think it's more just the process of getting there. So what I would like to do... I mean, we could essentially use the tournament button up here. I guess maybe we should. I wonder if there's a way. I guess not. What was the last one called? Oh, that was Queen of Strongstar. Okay, so we essentially don't have to do the Fateful 8. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll book it myself, and we'll go from there. And of course, we also could potentially go up to tiny size from this show. In fact, I think we probably will go up. So that'll be interesting. Of course, Kate Lilly will not be involved. And of course, Thea Davis now will not be involved. Getting a nice sneeze in there. But we do have Aki Cameo giving the locker room a lift as she unveiled a series of spot-on impressions. Good for Cameo there. Probably not going to be involved in tonight's show, but we'll see how we go. Also, we need to do some meddling, don't we? Got quite a lot of, meddling to do, to be honest. And I guess I might just go with Hashimoto and Calliope, to be honest. I really want to get rid of theirs before we try and get rid of Viper and Joyrider. Anyway, okay. So, for tonight's show, I think we're going to go... Let's have Debbie Rose open the tournament. And she can take on Joyrider. Of course, Joyrider is a face. Again, we might be strapped for time. I should really make this event a little bit longer. Anyway, we can just go with the... I feel like we had this problem. I think it was Queen of Strongstyle. But anyway, let's... I think, actually, we might be okay. We might be okay. Because it's only 8 women in the match. So, Joyrider taking on Debbie Rose. We'll give it 10, but we can always lower it down as well. This one's pretty straightforward. Debbie's going to get the victory for herself. Nice and easy. Next match, let's go with... Who do we want to go with? Who's a face? Maybe Christy? Let's go Calliope. So Calliope can take on... let's go Rei Chikanatsu. Just for 10 minutes, Calliope can get the victory there as well. That's a pretty... I would say that's a pretty impressive victory for Calliope as well. Over the more senior Chikanatsu. Alright, up next, we want... I think Claudia was our most impressive. Yeah, she's definitely the most impressive, apart from her psychology. So I think we'll go with Claudia in this tournament. Of course, she is a face. So I think we'll actually... Let's put her against Rekka. I feel like this is actually like an interesting match from my perspective anyway. So Rekka's going to go through the next round as well. Ooh, what is Claudia's stamina? 37. Okay, well I didn't see that. I didn't see that. So that's worrying. is going to struggle in a 7-minute match. Ooh, that's got me upset a little bit. Okay, anyway, it is what it is. Let's book the final match here. And let's go for Atsuko. And Etsuko can take on... I was thinking maybe Maisie Laurels, but I think Ruby Reese should probably be involved, so we'll just go Ruby. Kind of sucks for Ruby, but at the same time, at least, you know, she'll be used on the show. And then we can also praise her at the end of the show to try and get rid of her morale issues. Okay, so that looks pretty good. We're at 44 minutes, which is fine. So our next match... Yeah, so let's do it like this. So let's have Etsuko... Where is she? Etsuko taking on Rekka. That'll be our first semi-final. Hopefully we won't be overusing Rekka. It is 20 minutes, so I'm not 100% sure if she'll be able to go that long, but I guess we'll find out, won't we? Okay, and then the next match is Calliope and Debbie. Should be a pretty good match as well, this one. I feel like this one could potentially steal the show. So that one will go after the first semi-final. That'll be our second. And then our finale for the final of the Figure 8 tournament, the Fateful 8. Why did I say Figure 8? The Fateful 8 is, of course, Debbie taking on Atsuko. It is face versus face, but again, mentioned it many times before. It's only loosely enforced, our face-heel divide. And we are indeed going to give the victory to Etsuko Ariyoshi again. Now, I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, she won the first Figure 8, Fateful 8. I keep calling it Figure 8 because of the Figure 8 knot. Anyway, let's go back. Let's have a look. I think it was her. Yeah, it was Etsuko. So she's going back to back. I mean, it's not really that much of a surprise that she would be winning for the second time. Of course, the only woman to actually beat her is Kate Lilly. And of course, Kate, being the world champion, not going to be involved in this match. Okay, so with that said, let's go for Etsuko. Let's give her an angle pre-main event. So that'll go there. Let's make this this match here will be our Steal the Show. And I mean, we do have time for another angle or two. Maybe just Calliope, and we'll work the crowd with this one. Yeah, I feel like that's a good way of going about it. So Calliope, she can have an 8-minute angle as well. I think I won't script her. Let's go unscripted. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I mean, we actually have a little bit more time as well. I could maybe go Debbie, although I don't think Debbie can speak very well. Yeah, she's not the best. Joyrider can though. Yeah, Joyrider has very... Okay, so people are being used way too much. So what we'll do, let's just lower every match that involves these two down to 8 minutes. I think that's the best way of going about it. And that might, hopefully it will, solve our problem. I mean, they're still being used too much, but at this point, there's nothing else I can really do. So with that said, let's go a Joyrider angle as well. And we'll give her 8 minutes as well, unscripted. So we're putting a little bit of faith into some of these angles. And hopefully it will pay off. Actually, you know what I might also do? instead of having this match be work the crowd, I'll make it a regular. We're going to go another angle. We're going to give a 6-minute angle to... Who was our new talker? The girl that had really... It wasn't Betty. I don't think it was Betty. Betty's actually not too bad, though, with her entertainment stats, like I said. But it was Sarah Butler, wasn't it? Yeah. So I want to give Sarah Butler an angle to kick off the show. Just 6 minutes, because that's all we have left. And I guess, seeing as let's do a pre-show match as well. I think maybe Hashimoto, although she's heel. Ah, it doesn't matter. Actually, we'll go Christy. We'll go Christy Higgins, and she can take on Sarah Butler. We'll try and give it 12 minutes. I mean, being a pre-show match, I want to give it all the time I possibly can, really. So there we go. That'll be the pre-show. I mean, realistically, everything else looks pretty good. Oh, although Joyrider. All right, we're gonna get rid of this angle here. What we could also do actually is maybe lower Etsuko's angle. Yeah, that works. So now she's only being slightly overused. So only Debbie is actually being overused on the show. So I like that. All right, let's run the show. Looks like a pretty good Fateful 8 tournament. And of course, we've got a little bit of involvement from 2 of our new graduates. All right, let's go with it. So we start off with a 28 rated pre-show match. We have Christy Higgins defeating Sarah Butler in 12:09 by pinfall with a Florida upswing. And we got a nice 37 there for Christy. But unfortunately, only a 7 in-ring performance there from the debuting Sarah Butler. She debuted her Rock Chick gimmick, getting an initial rating of adequate. So that's actually pretty good, considering, you know, other gimmicks have been poor or awful. So we'll take adequate. And there's no pros or cons. So I'm actually pleasantly happy with that, to be honest. All right, let's kick off the show. Fateful 8, 2021. And we kick things off with a 27 rated angle for Sarah Butler, who comes in on debut. Essentially, the fans have seen her in the pre-show match, but obviously, well, it's not really televised either. But she comes out, cuts a promo, says that she's the next big thing in Australian professional wrestling. And she says that she's going to be the driving force forward for Valkyrie Pro Wrestling. Over the next few years, her rise to dominance will take over, and she will eventually become a world heavyweight champion. So a pretty solid promo there. But again, I mean, that's kind of what she's best at. You know, coming fresh out from the dojo. All right, we then kick things off with a 55 rated match straight out of the gates for the Fateful 8. And we have Etsuko Ariyoshi defeating Ruby Reese in 8:21 by submission with an Ariyoshi lockdown. Really good match. And of course, Etsuko with a 65 in-ring performance there. So very, very solid from our former world champion. Of course, looking to try and get her title back. Okay, we then go into a really bad match, but I kind of had a bad feeling about this one because obviously Claudia is fresh and Rekka is pretty bad. Anyway, we get a 22 rated match here, and we have Rekka defeating Claudia Alexander in 5:57 by pinfall with a sit-out powerbomb. And yeah, unfortunately, Claudia was really off her game, but she got a 12 in-ring performance, which is just under half of what Rekka got. So that's actually not too bad, considering she is actually really off her game. Obviously, that's a consistency issue. But she also is a cheerleader, apparently, debuting her cheerleader gimmick. Getting an initial rating of very good there. So, very positive gimmick. Again, no pros and cons, but that's perfectly fine. And yeah, I mean, I'm happy about the gimmick. Not so happy about her stamina. but it seems like she could probably put on a pretty good match. We just need we can bump her stamina up to like, so she can have 10-minute matches. I think will be pretty good. Anyway, Rekka moving on. We then go into a 44 rated angle from Calliope Woodchuck. So she wasn't scripted, but as you can see, she was neutral. So no benefit, no negative, but a solid 44. Really nice promo there from Calliope. I'm very impressed with her at the moment. She's definitely, well, now that Thea is out injured, she's probably going to be our main face that we push up, maybe alongside Christy Higgins. And I think they'll both probably at least have an opportunity at the world title against Kate Lilly sometime in the near future. We then go into her match, which gets a 39 rating, where we have Calliope Woodchuck defeating Rei Chikanatsu in 10:25 by pinfall with a magistral cradle. A magistral cradle. Always struggle to get that one out. But yeah, the magistral. Yeah. Don't know. Should probably check it into Google Translate. I'm assuming it's some sort of lucha libre finisher. But as you can see, Calliope and Rei don't seem to click. So we've got some negative chemistry there. Perfectly fine. We need to find this type of stuff out. And yeah, Calliope with a 37. So pretty solid performance, I would say. Not too bad. Alright, we then go straight into our next match, which does a little bit better, getting a 40 rating there. And of course, we have the formidable Debbie Rose defeating Joyrider in 8:23 by pinfall with a Thorn Cutter. And a pretty solid 42 in-ring performance there from Debbie. So I'm happy with that going into the next round, into this sort of, I guess, they're semi-finals, so yeah. Alright, we then go straight into our first semi-final, getting a 50 rated match, which is pretty good considering Rekka is involved. And we, of course, have Etsuko Ariyoshi defeating Rekka in 8:22 by submission with an Ariyoshi lockdown. And of course, Atsuko is looking pretty dominant. She's looking very, very dominant so far in this tournament. 2 big wins under her belt, defeating Rekka in just under 8.5 minutes. Looks pretty good. Pretty good. Anyway, the other semi-final does a little bit worse, getting a 49 rating there. So kind of sucks because I wanted this one to be the sort of steal the show match. But as you can see, Debbie seemed off her game. However, we did have Debbie Rose defeating Calliope Woodchuck in 8:14 by pinfall with a Thorn Cutter. Yeah, Calliope with a 41, Debbie with a 44. It's a good match, but again, wanted it to be just that little bit better. But then again, considering Etsuko's on the actual show, I should probably know that her matches are going to steal the show pretty much no matter what. So yeah. Anyway, up next we have a 43 rated angle from Etsuko Ariyoshi. As you can see, she enjoyed having the freedom to go off script, and she performed well. So another really solid promo. And of course, that's hopefully going to help her a little bit more, gaining that popularity, which we really want to see, because the workers at the moment, they're all like 15 or lower popularity at the moment. And, the more pop we can get for them, the better the matches are going to be, and the better the shows are going to be overall. So yeah. Anyway, she says that she's trying to win the Fateful 8 tournament for a second time. And of course, she wants to get another opportunity to try and win back her World Heavyweight title from Kate Lilly. And the main event, pretty good. That's solid enough. We get a 64 rated main event here for the VALPRO Fateful 8 final. And of course, we have Etsuko Ariyoshi defeating Debbie Rose in 19:53 by submission with an Ariyoshi lockdown. And of course, Etsuko becoming a 2-time winner of the Fateful 8 tournament. Very impressive stuff. Very impressive. And she also beat her previous best in-ring at the start of the show against Ruby, getting a 66 in-ring there for Etsuko. And a very solid 49 there from Debbie Rose as well, must be said. I think this is actually our second best ever match. I think it is. We'll take a look at that. Anyway, finish the show. We get a 58 rated show for the Fateful 8. So 58, Fateful 8. Sounds pretty good to me. So praise, we're gonna go with Ruby. Gonna go with Joyrider, and I think I'm not 100% sure who else has morale issues. I think Rekka. It was Rekka, wasn't it? Yeah. Okay, so there we go. I think it definitely was those three girls. All right, so there's a few things I want to do now. Obviously, I want to just check the top 100 shows and matches. See what our best... Oh, there we go as well. VALPRO rise to tiny size. We've gone up in size, finally. Let's have a look. We're up to 18, so we did in fact gain the 2 points of popularity for that month. So that's going to be a big help as well. However, we find ourselves with penalties now. Okay, so one thing I will do straight off the bat is upgrade our music, because we are small time, and if you get caught using, or if you are caught having small time music, you can pick up a massive fine. I don't think you can pick up the fine if you're in significant size, but I think once you go up to tiny, I think there's a pretty good chance that you can actually do that. I mean, it's only an extra $250 per show, so it's not really going to break the bank. But we are going to have one penalty. Yeah. I mean, it's only DIW that has amateur production, and we currently have limited. Seeing as we're in a bad financial situation, I think I'm going to leave that where it is. I don't think it's going to affect our shows too much, if I'm being honest. So I'm not really going to worry about it. Okay. Everything looks pretty good there. Anyway, so up to 18, which is very good. I just want to take a quick look at the Fateful 8 tournament as well. So it's at 57 prestige. Not exactly sure what it was previously, but there we go. Anyway, that was actually our best ever show. As you can see, the Fateful 8 getting a 58, and our best ever was Bombshell Blowout 1, which got a 57, so pretty good to see that. But as you can see, it is only our second best ever match, and of course, Atsuko, Kate Lily getting a 65. So Etsuko and Debbie Rose, very solid in a second place there, and of course, Debbie and Kate are both tag team partners, so that's pretty funny in its own right. But a solid 64 there as well. Now, the next thing I wanted to look at is merchandise. So as you can see, we're at level 4, but it is seriously slow at the moment. So you only go up, what? I think it was 4% of progress every week. So we're kind of struggling, which is unfortunate because merchandise was starting to pick up a little bit. Once again, this month looking pretty bad in regards to the finances. Probably going to be another $16,000 loss. Although, typically, the Fateful 8 tournament does sort of save us a little bit of money. But then again, we did use some other workers. Anyway, let's have a look at Creative Meeting, which is the last thing I wanted to do. Our next big things. Unfortunately, none of our graduates find themselves on the next big thing list, which is frustrating. Hot prospects, though. Interestingly, Ruth Russell, the bully that I was kind of hesitant against signing, is actually a potential next big thing. Or hot prospect, sorry. Hot prospect. Strange. Anyway, talk the talk. I didn't realize that Maisie Laurels is as good of a talker as she actually is, so I think we want to try and use Maisie on the mic a little bit more. Hashimoto as well, we're going to try and use her, but we've got to essentially wait until she can speak basic English, which is frustrating, but hopefully in due time it'll come. Apart from that, I don't think anything else has really changed. Although there is somebody else that has come into the game. Connie Toughnell. Interesting. So she came in to the game in December, so just last month, and she is looking pretty good. She's looking really good. Connie Toughnell, who looks like she's wearing an American flag sort of outfit for some reason, which doesn't make a lot of sense. But 86 star quality. 41 technical in there as well. Not terrible on the microphone. We may as well just sign her up as well. What's her popularity? That's 0 popularity, but she thinks that she should have merchandise. That doesn't really make much sense, does it? She's literally going to want 10%. I wonder if I did this. Does that change anything? Okay, it does. Alright, so events and A-shows will actually get rid of the merchandise request. We've actually got another Australian worker as well. Feels pretty good. Feels pretty good. Okay, so I think that's pretty much everything. I just want to take a quick look at Atsuko. She's up to 17 popularity now as well, which is very decent considering. What about Debbie? Because Debbie was the loser. She's at 15, which is up 3 points as well. So she had a really good tournament. Calliope's at 13. I think she's up as well. No. Oh, actually, no. She'd be the same, I guess. Yeah, I guess she would be the same. But yeah, we didn't use quite a few of our workers there. Let's take a look at Sarah Butler. She's at 1 popularity. Too bad. Okay. So all that's now sorted out. Thank you for watching, guys. Make sure you smash a like on the video if you enjoyed today's episode. I think it was a pretty good one. Obviously, 37 minutes long. I think that's a pretty solid episode, considering these ones are usually only, 15 to 20 minutes long. And yeah, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and turn the notification bell on. Apart from that, guys, as always, take it easy, and goodbye.